winners. We said earlier about Huddersfield having not conceded. Again, is that as a professional, and when you're leading as United are, is that as good as a 1-0 win, the fact you're not conceding goals?
Yes, but they weren't playing against a team who particularly threatened. I think obviously once they went 1-0 down, Leicester created a little bit, but up until that point, Man United had all the play, they created all the chances. When I say created chances, Leicester were very comfortable. They allowed Man United to get wide, get crosses in, and they'll be very disappointed with the goal they conceded, because Man United were in great crossing positions all game, but they defended so well. All of the Leicester back four were always in the right position, never out of position. They defended everything. And frankly, a poor corner that came in quite low should never have got through to Rashford. That would be the biggest disappointment for them, because they defended all the crosses coming in. As you can see, when this ball comes from Mkhitaryan, it's not that particularly high. Someone's got to deal with that, and it's a free effort by Rashford. Maybe because he came on, they didn't know who should have been marking him, but you can see it's a flat ball coming in, should never have got through to him, so they'll be disappointed with that.
Will the keeper equally be disappointed?
Do you know what it is as well, though? The keeper might be disappointed, but you know what it is? He comes on, 2 minutes prior? So it's another one of those, it doesn't look like Leicester have gone, right, he's on, he's yours. Do you know what I'm saying? Normally when somebody comes on as a sub, you immediately get a set play, they go, you're on him. Make sure somebody marks him. It looks like everyone's done their job, but no one has suddenly thought,
but you see, he came on for Mata, and obviously Mata's not in the box to be marked, so of course someone comes on now, and you think, well,
John. So no one really has known whose responsibility Rashford was. And I think that's where they've fallen down. The corner came too quickly for them to sort it out.
And just back on the keeper, it did come a long way. Might he have done better?
Yeah, I think it's close to him enough, to, especially after his penalty save, which was world-class penalty save. But I think the reaction of it, I think maybe the speed of the balls deceived him a little bit, but he's got his two hands on it.
He's got two good hands.
Yeah, he's got two hands on it. Yeah. So I think he'll be disappointed he's not saved it.
Yeah, that's more like it. I think that's fair, Paul. I think you're right. But it's just, I mean, he doesn't move hardly. No. Rashford as well. Look, he stood there.
He's actually kicked it into the ground.
Yeah. I think he'll be a little disappointed. Yeah. He's better than that, Casper.
Fellaini made it 2.
You enjoyed that goal, didn't you?
Well, first half Mata was ruled offside and didn't look it here, and it's impossible to tell for sure from the camera angle, but Fellaini looks off and they give this one.
Yeah, it's a difficult one for the linesman, because Christian Fuchs is a left back. He's continually moving towards his own goal, so it's only a fraction of a second that he's offside, and I mean a fraction of a second, because when that's left his foot by about 2 metres, he's then onside.
And if the linesman looks across, all he sees is Christian Fuchs a yard inside, so you can understand why that also.
I think if you look at Michael Oliver just after this scene, he actually goes to his ear to say, is he or isn't he offside? So he's unsure. He's looking for a little bit of guidance from his linesman.
Well, that of course followed the penalty save. When a keeper saves, I think it's only right to give them credit. This can't go down as a miss, really, because it dilutes Schmeichel's contribution.
It was a bit of a harsh penalty to begin with. Here you can see it hit his arm, the crowd won a penalty, and I think the fact that the second one, which we're going to see in a minute, happened straight away is why the referee gives it, because I think Danny Simpson, it hits him on the arm, his arm's by his side, he didn't give the first one. If that had been a couple of minutes later...
Was the first one handball? Was that handball?
I mean, it is handball because it hits him on the arm, but that's whether it's a penalty, and because all handballs aren't penalty if your hands are down by your side. And I think in both occasions they were down by his side. I think it happened so quickly that's why he gave it.
I think the second one's a definite penalty. I don't think
you do.
Yeah, I
think the ball's travelled a long way.
Yeah,
second one.
Yeah, I think if you're blocking that.
Also, what happened to the goalkeeper not coming off his line?
Oh, forget that.
Is that gone?
Yeah. Off. When did you last see someone pull that for that?
But is it not part of the laws of the game
anymore? It is part of the laws of the game, Andy, as is holding the ball for more than 6 seconds if you're a goalkeeper. Yeah. But when did we last see that? I think Schmeichel at Newcastle a decade ago, longer. Was the last keeper penalised.
Is that how long he had it for?
Yeah. A long time.
A decade. No, he should get penalised.
Yeah, good point. Let's get back to Old Trafford.
On the door throughout the game, we were.
Paul Pogba, man of the match?
No, not for me.
That's probably why he got that yellow box. I wonder what that is.
Well, we don't know. We've asked week
I've
in,
wondered
week
for
out.
2 years, me. I thought you would know.
To be honest, I don't think there were any outstanding performances. They dominated the game. They had a lot of possession. If you look at Man United, they were comfortably the better side. But to then say there was a definitive man of the match, I don't know.
Let's have a look at the penalty again. Is the first handball of a deliberate nature, and should this have been a penalty? Does he not lean into it?
No, he's half a yard away. He's half
So
a
it
yard.
does hit him in an area where you could, but you
Hits
would.
him high in the arm as well. Hits him in the
This-
shoulder. That's travelling 5 metres, 6
I
metres.
wish we could get a closer angle, a closer view as well, though. Right, this is probably a better view. If you look at can he get his arm out the way?
Probably.
Yeah.
Listen, I think they came in quick succession, and the referees are only human.
You know why I'm asking? You would, Andy? Yes, Pen? Yes.
The second one?
Yes.
Yes, I would.
Yes.
No.
No, not for you.
For me, yes.
So it depends who's watching it, whether
Correct.
you're fortunate
Correct.
or not.
All we're doing is giving
if it goes
ourselves
to a
another
video
referee.
assistant ref. Yeah.
Waste of time.
Yeah. Here is Jose Mourinho.
Jose,
Substitutes.
I make it 4, I think, out of the 10 have come from substitutes. And you know, I think I've always said to you, I think more and more coaches, and that's why Conte talks a lot about his lack of depth in the bench, is that Mourinho, so far this season, has brought on substitutes in the game and they've contributed 4 goals. Both subs scored today. That's a big thing when you're 0-0 in a game and you go and bring on 2 guys and both of them score.
Chelsea have got 35 players out on loan. How
Yeah.
can Conte complain about a lack of depth?
Well, it's not his fault, I don't think. I mean, I'm sure Conte hasn't thrown every one of his players out on loan, but if you sign 50 pros, then you can't keep 50 pros. It's
But
not allowed.
he's also talked about the quality rather than the numbers. That's what he's talking about. I don't have any
Well, don't
sympathy for any of the
players
top
get
teams.
better by being educated?
Absolutely. That's why I have no sympathy for Premier League clubs, top Premier League clubs who talk about we haven't got enough players, because as you rightly say, if you're signing these players and you've got 50, that means the 35 out on loan, the 30 or the 25 you have should be better than those 35, so surely you can get 11 out of them. So I really don't have sympathy for them.
Do you think there should be a limit on how many players you can have in your first team squad?
I think so. Absolutely. If you look at Germany, for example, and when they did the Champions League, you look at the numbers that a lot of the foreign teams have. It goes down to maybe Atletico Madrid in the Champions League had 20-odd players. Manchester City had 40-odd. You know, it's crazy.
Okay, we'll catch up with everything that's been happening today elsewhere in just a moment. Manchester City won. Andy Kerr is your host for the club tomorrow. Milan, Cagliari, that's the centrepiece. 3-language coverage of that game available on our programme at 20:30 Mecca. Goals from the top 5 European leagues and more. Results today: Manchester City won at Bournemouth late, very, very late. We'll show you how in just a moment. Swansea won at Palace. It's 3 games now for Palace, no points, no goals either. Saints took a point away from Huddersfield, who haven't yet conceded, like Manchester United. 7 from 9 for them. Newcastle beat West Ham 3-0 at home. Watford and Brighton, that finished all square. Watford down to 10 for about an hour or so. And Manchester United became the first team this season to take the lead and subsequently lose. But they'll still be feeling they should have got something out of this, won't they?
I think they had a terrific start. I mean, this will be up there for goal this season. I mean, that's a really difficult shot to hit. It really is, because it's on the rise and he's kept it down brilliantly. But what a start!
City smart, Bournemouth naive here. Someone stand on the ball.
Yeah, definitely. Be professional. Stop the game. And I think I know you can hide behind the managers, the one that organises, but you've got to have somebody in the field of play to dictate the game.
Now, could have been a foul there, might have been a foul there. Arta's ultimately booked for that, but having missed those 2 or allowed the game to continue, Mike Dean decides that is a foul.
That's
Is it?
probably the least of the 3 that's a foul.
Yeah.
Arta was booked for his challenge.
Yeah.
He said he did what day, got the ball moving quickly. Look at the clock. 5 minutes of added time, we're well beyond that.
And it's a scrappy goal. You know,
Yeah.
the ball comes across. It's fortunate, but you know, they talk about fortune favouring the brave. And the one thing is about Man City, for all their invention, their flair, their approach play, they're not particularly clinical in front of goal without Aguero. So it's a scrappy goal, but you know, and I feel sorry for Sterling. Yes,
Well,
he has to go. However, in the heat of the moment, you can understand why he forgets that he's not allowed to run in and
Well,
celebrate.
he's already booked, so
Yeah, but he's not
he
thinking-
goes to the crowd
yeah.
and gets himself booked again. Not mandatory. The referee did not have to book him, but taking into account the fact that there were security issues in that far corner, he eventually did. The steward here, right at the centre of your picture, has reported Sergio Aguero to the police, saying he felt threatened and was attacked by City's centre forward. I don't see that, but police are investigating. You can see Aguero there. Again, look, that's the incident.
You can see the steward pushing him first, and Aguero has kind of pushed him back a bit, but
City have reviewed these pictures and said no case to answer. Will those who sit in judgment ultimately and make decisions on disciplinary action, will they say the same?
Yes.
Common sense.
Unless they start waving